So I just have a whole bunch of videos in my freaking camera roll that I just didn't upload. I will be planning to upload them, but I'm gonna have to make like 3 separate thumbnails. And making thumbnails isn't difficult at all. It's just the fact that I'm lazy and I just don't want to do it. So I need to get that laziness out of my system and actually get to making these guys darn thumbnails. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about times where the 1% sparking was actually better than the LF character. Yes, this has actually happened. Now, before I get into the video, this is only when I started the game. Obviously, maybe from 2018 to 2021, there were tons of times where the 1% sparking was way better than the LF. But I am only talking about when I started the game, which was in about the beginning of the 4th anniversary. So just wanted to clear that up just in case if you guys say, well, you forgot about this, you forgot about that. But without further ado, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's talk about the times where the 1% sparking was actually better than the LF. So I just have to feel like we should not. I just feel like we should knock this out the way. Majin Ku is going to be one of the easiest characters to put on this. Um, some people did initially think that Vegeta was way better than Majin Ku until Daima started getting more buffs, and then this guy was just for some reason gaining way more value than Vegeta at the time. I think the main reason was because that there was barely any red Daima characters coming out, and the best one was Super Saiyan Daimaku, and even then he was barely even top 10. So obviously Ku didn't really have any crazy threats, and even if you were to say, well, he has Ultra Cell, he literally had the freaking blue Super Saiyan Daimagoku to protect the blue Super Saiyan 4 Daimagoku to literally protect them with the color advantage thing. But there are so many reasons why this guy was way better and in my opinion, still is better than Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Number one, this guy just basically has infinite paralysis. If you really think we're going to fight against Ku without getting paralyzed at least one time, then honestly you're sadly mistaken. Because this guy basically guaranteed a paralysis when you basically play against the guy. He literally can inflict paralysis on strike cards. He can literally, I think, like, he can restore his vanishing gauge like up to 5 times on his green card. Like, he just has some abilities that some LF characters should have. And I'm surprised that Vegeta didn't have some of these abilities. But I think Vegeta was one of the only balanced like Daima characters, like excluding freaking Super Saiyan Daimagoku and Tamagami. Even though I guess like Glorio and stuff. Yeah, Glorio and the blue Daimagoku. But the blue Daimagoku wasn't even balanced. He was just trash. But Glorio, excluding Glorio and, Super Saiyan Daimaku and Tamagami, this was like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was one of the more balanced ones. This guy basically was like, you didn't even need to have Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Like, this guy paired up with Do was basically the duo you don't want to go against because no matter what, you most likely aren't going to kill them. Like, even to this day, if you want to fight against that team, you will still have problems with it, believe it or not. Because Do to this day is still a crazy tank. Ku is just still annoying to fight. Like, I know eventually Ku is going to be paired up with Frieza, and that's going to be the most annoying crap to ever exist in this game. But again, this is a 1% Sparking who has like an LF kit. Like, I swear, this was probably the kit Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was supposed to have, and they decided, you know what, let's slap it on Ku. Obviously, that's probably not true, but that's what I think. But this guy can feint on ultimates. The guy can feint on blue cards. This guy can literally restore his vanish for some reason up to 5 times on a green card. A green card. Keep in mind, I think this guy starts off with a green card if I'm not mistaken. Any other way, he always gets a green card most of the time at the start of the match. But this guy basically like reduces your ki and like destroys some of your cards when you attack him. Like, this guy, I don't know what to say about him. Like, if I were to say one thing about this guy, it's basically that he was probably the most annoying, and to this day, the most annoying Daima character to fight. But that doesn't mean that he was the best. Although he is the most annoying character in my opinion, I think Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku in his prime was a way better character than this guy. Honestly, to this day, I still agree with that because Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku, like, still is getting value with Saiyans, but with the constant gray units, I don't know. He might be gaining value because of Cooler Zenkai. Look, I don't know. But, look, this guy, like, the difference is that when it comes to Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, you can easily beat him. Like, I want to say easily, like, oh my gosh, I can throw in any character and just wipe him out. Like, obviously, it's going to be a certain character you got to use to kill him, and obviously, you're going to have to play with some skill, but that guy was basically like an easy character that wasn't really easy to kill because he does crazy damage, but he's kind of a glass cannon. Like, unlike Ku, who for some reason does very good damage, I just say as a support type. I can name so many support type characters who did probably not as much damage. The first character I can already talk about is Pan, not being a support character that doesn't really do that much damage. Like, of course, against yellow units, yeah, she can do a lot more damage, but even then, it's not crazy amounts like potential one shots or anything. Unlike Ku, who against a purple unit could legit one shot him. I literally tried to showcase Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta against this guy, and he got absolutely one-shotted by a blue card. To the surprise of no one, because not only was he heavily power crept, even in his prime, his defenses was absolutely horrendous. So imagine how his defenses are now. Yeah, you can only imagine. But yeah, this guy is easily a character I can put on this list. This doesn't now. Some of the time, it's not like here's what this can be. It can either be the 1% sparking being way more broken than the freaking LF. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. Either both characters are very good, the LF and the sparking, but the sparking is just way better. Or the sparking is also trash, but the LF is just more trash. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, the next character I'm about to put on this list after this, which we're actually going to go to right now. Android 16 is a character I think I am comfortable putting on this list, and he was better than Super Vegeta. I wouldn't say in every way, but this guy was just, it might be in every way, but this guy was just an absolute crazy character. Like, this is an example of the 1% sparking not being like crazy, but just the LF being absolutely garbage. Because obviously, we all thought that Super Vegeta would just be good. Not broken, but not trash. He would just be balanced. He would be good. He could compete in the meta. But obviously, we were sadly mistaken. And people were saying if I were to summon on Super Vegeta, it will only be against Android 16. First of all, his teams were way better than Vegeta's. I'm not even going to debate with anybody on that. Vegeta's teams, while they were good, Android 16 teams was way better. Now, obviously, he only had one, and that was basically Android. But even then, Android was still a top-tier team. Because, first of all, we got Super 17, who literally was still number one in the game on, Super Vegeta's release. So the fact that we got another Android does make Super 17 a lot more valuable. Then, on top of it, even made him more valuable because he's working with potentially the best team in the game. Then the Gammas was still kind of relevant. Same with Android 17, to be honest. And then the perfect, Cell Zenkai came out, the revival one. And then on top of that, he's green, which he can really protect Super 17 against green units. Not that he already needs any protection against blue. Did I say green units? Not that, Super 17 needs protection against blue units. But getting that extra is just very, very helpful and gives Android 16 a lot more value. Not only that, this guy had way more abilities than Super Vegeta. If we were to look at Android 16, this is all the stuff that he has. And then if we look at Super Vegeta, this is all the stuff that, he has the exact same things. Well, not the exact same amount of things, right? But this guy didn't really do much. Although I was going to say a very good character. I would just be lying to all your face. I'll be lying to your faces. This guy was absolutely horrendous, and that's literally why Android 16 was a way better character than this guy. Literally, if you want to get the Trunks animation, you should actually hope that it's Android 16. Because if you see LF, I'm going to give you a hint, it's going to be a disappointment. And that is exactly what Super Vegeta is, a disappointment. This guy did little to no damage. For some reason, his ultimate is a freaking, ranged-based ultimate, which, again, we had a character who can literally absorb ranged-based attacks with their green card. And after that happens, you literally can't even do anything. You just have to sit there and get stuck in a combo. And 9 times out of 10, you're guaranteed death because Super 17's damage was absolutely crazy. And Super Vegeta couldn't tank either. So not only was his damage horrendous, he couldn't tank in a meta where there were high damage dealing characters. So this guy basically had no place. They literally gave an equipment, which they didn't say was specifically for him, but it was basically specifically for him, and yet it did literally nothing to this guy. All they did was probably make him like a tiny bit better, and that didn't even make him any more than what he originally was. So, again, Android 16 is definitely a character I can put on this list 100%. But again, it's not the fact that this 16 was broken. Obviously, he was good on like Super Vegeta. It's not like he was broken. It was just that Super Vegeta was bad. And that gave Android 16, like, the spotlight in that case. Like, on that banner. But let's move on to the next character. I actually almost forgot about this guy. I don't know why I forgot about him. He was originally the main reason why I was going to make this video. And yeah, I forgot about him. Zamasu should be a character that should easily be on this list. I'm not going to waste my time debating with anybody because no matter how many times you say Trunks and Vegeta was better on release, it's not true and it will never be true. There are so many reasons why this guy was way better than freaking Vegeta and Trunks, and it's not even funny. First of all, this is one of those characters, this is one of those times where it's not that the sparking character was crazy, like, broken, which he actually is. But not only that, Vegeta and Trunks was decent at best. Like, first of all, even against the likes of purple units, they still can't perform that good. Obviously, they were very good until, like, Ultra Gogeta Blue came out. Then everybody instantly forgot he existed. Obviously, you would expect him to gain more value because, well, it's a yellow character. But the only downside is that you have to stay in with Trunks. You have to. And if you switch into Vegeta and get caught, you're basically dead. There are so many reasons why Zamasu is better than Trunks that I don't even feel like I have the energy nor the time to explain. But let me just say it. First off, this guy can tank way better, which makes sense because it's a defensive type character. And he has endurance. So he has more defensive things and better, tanking than Trunks and Vegeta in basically every way. Second of all, he is a defensive character who can actually do very good damage, right? Like, and second of all, and then third, you literally can't even, and I'm going to say this again, you literally can't even do a full combo against this Zamasu because of the fact that he takes basically almost all your ki once you do 2 cards. If you are even able to do 2 cards, that is. Like, this guy was basically the definition of you basically couldn't play the game. But it's not like you can't play the game like Majin Ku, or it's not like you can't play the game like Ultra Frieza or something. It's more like you're going to struggle a whole lot more against this guy than you will with Trunks and Vegeta. And it makes sense because I'm going to say one thing. Both characters, in my opinion, are heavily star reliant. The thing about Zamasu is even at 6 stars, he can still perform way better than Trunks and Vegeta at 6 stars. So imagine both at 14 stars. In terms of damage, obviously it's going to be Trunks and Vegeta because they're meant to do damage. But in terms of like support and tanking and utility, because you can easily throw this guy in for a Rising Rush and he'll be able to eat that. So this guy was so much better than Trunks and Vegeta. Like, that if you didn't pull Trunks and Vegeta and you got this guy, you could just sit here and say, you know what? I got the way better character. That's a big W. Let me get some Sparking Z power and throw it onto this guy. Because obviously, it's very, very, very rare for a 1% Sparking to be better than an LF. That is one of the most rare things to happen in this game. And yet it happened tons of times, but not that much. Like, if that's the case, then you might as well just freaking get all the sparking Z power instead of the LF Z power. But yeah, this guy was way better than Trunks and Vegeta, and I'm not even going to waste my time debating with anybody on this because, the reasoning is literally there. Like, if you were to check out every showcase of Trunks and Vegeta and Zamasu, even Goresh himself said that Zamasu was way better than Trunks and Vegeta on release. And keep in mind, that is the same guy who played this game since day one, the same guy who summoned multiple times, the same guy who literally gets God rank every single season. Like, he is one of those only people where you can actually agree with what he's saying. Or, like, you just have to agree. Because it's true. If Zamasu is better than Trunks and Vegeta, because he knows how to play the game. And he basically 14 stars almost every character in the God Star game. So, he knows what he's talking about. Zamasu was way better than Trunks and Vegeta. Coming from somebody who didn't even get either, right? Like, I got Zamasu on, like, my freaking tablet, and he was absolutely crazy. He was annoying. He did a decent amount of damage. And his greed card literally stops the enemy's melee attacks. And it nullifies cover change. Just why not? And you're going to sit here and tell me that Trunks and Vegeta is better. You're going to sit here and tell me that this guy was better than Zamasu. What did this guy have besides reverse element factors and tag? Like, they didn't really do much. Like, I'm sorry, they didn't do much. Like, obviously their blast damage was amazing. They did very good damage. It's just that besides damage, what else did they really have? Like, versus Zamasu, who has, like, good support, good damage, like good damage, good tanking. Like, what does Trunks and Vegeta really have besides damage, which wasn't even that good, if we're being honest? Really nothing. They couldn't really tank that well, and keep in mind, I was gonna say, like, we still also had, like, Red Cooler and stuff, but then I literally forgot that Blue Beast Gohan came out. But even then, you were still able to use Red Cooler. Like, he wasn't bad. He was just heavily countered. There's a difference between a character being bad and being heavily countered. So, Red Cooler was still good. MUI was still good. Heck, even Tag Joys was still good. And then on top of that, I think Zamasu got even more value when Ultra Rose came out. Because you might say, well, both technically got value because they're both future. You do realize that that's the only thing Trunks and Vegeta and Rose got in common, right? Future. And I guess Saiyans, but I don't even think Ultra Rose buffs Saiyans. I think he buffs Future, God Key, and Powerful Opponent, and Zamasu fits all of those tags. So he got even more value when Ultra Rose came out. More value than Trunks and Vegeta. So, yeah. Zamasu, guy, you definitely earned a spot on this list. You were definitely way better than LF, Trunks, and Vegeta. Let's move on to the next character, probably the second to last one. So this one, I know we're definitely going to have some mixed opinions, but I really do think that he was better than Dragon Fist on release. Like, believe it or not. Because first of all, Dragon Fist was mid. I don't even have to explain that. He was mid. Not only was he mid, if we're being real, he was very boring to use. The guy had nothing unique. And on top of that, after using him for the first 3 times, it's kind of like, okay, now what? Now you just basically use the guy to get high in rank. And even then, he can't even do that. Because, first of all, he's heavily star reliant. He doesn't tank very well. And his damage could be a whole lot better. He would be lucky if he was even top 5 on release, let alone what some people say the best character in the Gosh Darn game. I pulled him and I used him, and I pulled him on release. I used him. I don't think he was the best character in the game. I don't even think he was close. There were like so many characters that was better than him. MUI, Tag Joys. I like Full Power Jiren, who was still very relevant at the time. Literally went like freaking blasted through him. Like, again, so many characters, but this guy, although probably didn't get as much value because you know MUI, you know, red units kind of like dominating the meta. Still though, like, he was still a very good character. First off, his damage was amazing, like as a support type. Like his damage was amazing. Like then on top of that, he has the final counter, who he was the first character to ever get that. But he got the final counter, which when he dies, actually damages the opponent. Which again, we never seen that in the game before. Like after this, like unless there's a character who could self-destruct. But again, you have to like basically use a card to kill like yourself. But this guy, you basically just can, you take out his full health bar and then you do damage. Like people didn't even want to kill Tapion because of the fact that they didn't want to take damage. Like obviously they gotta do what they gotta do. But I know there were some people who didn't want to kill Tapion because of the fact that he will do damage to your whole team. Not just one character, to your whole team. I think it's AoE if I'm not mistaken. But I need to probably look. Does major and yeah, will also be dealt to the enemy members on standby. So this did AoE damage, which is crazy, right? Which is crazy. So this guy, I think, in my opinion, was better than Dragon Fist. Even if you want to say he wasn't, Dragon Fist wasn't that much better than Tapion. Even if you want to say that Dragon Fist was better, he wasn't that much better. Like he wasn't crazy, like because again he was mid. It was freaking Dragon Fist mid coup. Dragon Fist mid coup. He was so mid that you probably didn't even have to summon on him. Like he was continuing the curse of green anniversary units being bad. Because he wasn't bad. He was mid. He was mid and he was good at best. At best. And again, you need him at high stars for him to be, oh my gosh, okay, I can use this guy to get higher rank. You could use Tapion at, let's say, 9 stars to get higher rank with him. Because of the fact that the opponent literally gets punished from killing him. You see how broken that sounds? So yeah, I think he could be on this list. Not 100%, but like 95%. I think this guy could basically just be on the list, which is basically 100%. So yeah, I think I have one more in mind, but if not, I'm gonna just do the intro. So this might be the only one where if you were to say that instant transmission Goku was better, I can't really complain because I will totally I won't agree, but I won't disagree either. But I think I feel a little bit comfortable putting this guy for the final character on this list. Now here's the thing. This is one of those times where it was just the 1% sparking being good and not the LF being bad. Because everybody said that Instant Transmission Goku was like the LF version of Radhan, which obviously, the AoE green cards and all that other stuff, yeah, that was nice. But there were reasons why this Trunks was better than like Instant Transmission Goku. First of all, Instant Transmission Goku was the definition of a glass cannon. Basically, you catch the guy in the combo and he's dead. While he does have a pretty good disrupt, the fact that you can basically get rid of it in one card is absolutely crazy. Then, to add on to that, we basically have freaking tons of yellow characters who are actually getting rid of Instant Transmission Goku. Ultra Monster Vegeta, who was still very, very relevant. Ultra Beast Gohan, who was even still number 1 in the game at the time. Like, then Yellow Gogeta Blue got a Zenkai. And it's like, that gave Super Trunks a lot more value because not only was he able to tank characters very well, whether you're blue or not, this guy also did very good damage, believe it or not. Like, again, it's very rare to have a defensive character do very good damage. The only 3 I can probably name off the top of my head is the only 3 is probably Super Trunks, Zamasu, and Jiren. Now you might say LF Metal Cooler, but his damage is only good when it's like his last life, and even then it's not that good, right? But this guy was crazy. He was annoying to fight. I think he has a disrupt. His strike was even able to feint, which I find like every Super Trunks in the game for some reason has that. Hybrid Sans was still a top team in the game. Because you got freaking Rat Han, you got freaking, Purple Ultimate Gohan, you got Red Beast Gohan, you got Ultra Beast Gohan, you have freaking the Green Trunks that got a Zenkai. And then this guy came out. And then, yeah, we even got Gohan and Trunks who was still like top 5 in the game. So Hybrid Sans was just a top team in the game. And adding this guy was good because it finally gave that team a great defensive option. Now, you might say, well, Gohan and Trunks has succession, so that's good defense. That doesn't mean they were able to tank well. Just because they have a defensive mechanism doesn't mean they're good defensively. They can't tank, but this guy can, and he has endurance on top of that. Versus Instant Transmission, who was literally a glass cannon. But that doesn't mean he was bad. So don't take that in any wrong way. But I don't really have much to say about this. So let me know in the comments, guys, who do y'all think I should add on the next one? Because I will be doing a part 2 of this if I can find any. But let me know in the comments who I forgot to add on this list. But yeah, guys, so that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys, and peace.